Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into game number 2 between Team Amazon versus Team Garmin in the AHGL preseason. This is before the season, so these matches are, for the most part, just for guts, for glory, and a little bit for fun. Let's go ahead and jump in and introduce the players as we spawn. Up here in the top right-hand corner of the map, on top of the blue Zerg player. Representing Team Garmin, it is Garmin's Neil Footy. And his opponent. Spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have the orange Protoss player representing Team Amazon. It is Amazon's Catfish. Alrighty, let's get this show underway. And it looks like we are going to be starting off with Team Amazon, standing up 1-0 in this best of 5 series. my pylon was late. Oh god. Well, Catfish might be in a little bit of trouble in that regard, but oh my god, a probe scout on the pylon. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually a part of Team Amazon, so I have a little bit of the insider information on what's going to be happening in this match, but this is very fishy. The fact that Catfish going for that probe scout after pylon, he wants to be as annoying as a Protoss player as humanly possible, or I should say Protossly possible, which is actually pretty freaking possible. He wants to make sure that, you know, that hatchery has a long time before it can actually go down. Probe gonna make sure that it will not be able to go down until, you know, at least a Zergling or two comes out, or maybe at least a drone has to be pulled off the line to harass that annoying little probe. But in the meanwhile, I do want to say that we're going to be expecting a very fun little build coming out from Catfish. You know, I just want to hear it. I want to hear you guys in the comments on YouTube and everything. Let me know what you think he's going to be going for, because I am going to tell you, it does involve getting a Stargate. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, and the rest of the game will reveal itself in due time. But Catfish microing around with that probe, just trying to be annoying, but it looks like Neil for Foodie not going to have, or Foofy not going to have any of it. Immediately gets that hatchery down as soon as he wants to. And is able to immediately start up 6 Zerglings and take a gas geyser, starting up the Queen. Oh no, actually it looks like just doing a little bit of a gas trick, as he does not have an Overlord started just yet. Going for the Queen as well, so we may be seeing a 3rd hatchery coming down very soon as a follow-up to these 6 Zerglings, just because he's going to have so many minerals banked with the Overlord being so late. And Catfish saying, you know, you expanded before me. Does that mean that I lose? Well, no, actually, Catfish, because this is Xel'Naga Caverns, your opponent will never ever be able to take a safe 3rd expansion. So it looks like you're in the clear for now. But regardless, Catfish going for the gateway wall off, has the first Zealot out, and is going for that nice little wall in, making sure that those Zerglings cannot run rampant. And his Sentry are going to be following it up as well. We'll have to see how he ends up following this up, because there comes down the Stargate. Oh man, this is the first step. I mean, if you want to get a fleet beacon, you got to get a Stargate. The question is he actually going to expand? We do have Neil just trying to pay attention, just keeping an eye out for where that expansion may be coming down. But this Overlord over here, as well as this Overlord over here for Neil, could very well come in and spot out that Stargate, and that will be a big tell, saying, okay, wait a second, why are you getting a Stargate before you try going for any kind of expansion? He's going to immediately start thinking Spore Callers, all kinds of that sort of all the anti-air defenses. He's going to be expecting maybe a Void Ray, maybe an Oracle coming out, but you know, maybe even a Phoenix, but it's going to be a little bit difficult to say what exactly Catfish is going to be up to. And then meanwhile, Neil finally grabbing that first gas geyser, maybe thinking about getting a Zergling speed or an eventual layer attack, not a super fast one. And one thing I do want to know is that this is all played on the Dream Pool right now, so you do have to keep in mind, guess what, this 3rd expansion is going to be very difficult to take. I mentioned that. That's because of these destructible rocks that prevent you from taking a 3rd expansion. Maybe you want to take the other 3rd expansion option, destructible rocks, over in front of your gold expansion. You want to go over here and take this 3rd expansion? Yeah, good luck defending that as a Zerg player. Oh man, it is absolute hell to take a 3rd. So we end up seeing a lot of kind of two basey play from a lot of players, not only just Zerg players, but even Protossy players and Terran players out there. Of course, your natural expansion can also be a little bit difficult to take as a Protoss player. I mean, look at this. Look, trying to wall this in with a gateway or a forged expansion. Yeah, good luck. going to be quite difficult, but a couple of extra gateways being added on. Mothership Core scouting around a little bit on the map, just kind of getting an idea for what's going on, sees that there is in fact a natural expansion going down, knows this isn't some kind of crazy Zelnaga Caverns one base Spire play or something crazy like that, but you know, Roachhorn has finished up now for Neil. And oh my god, here's the fleet beacon. And here is the mothership. Oh man, the mothership now warping in. One base mothership coming out from Catfish. Ladies and gentlemen, this is quite the way to get started with the After Hours Gaming League season. And unfortunately for Neil, he has absolutely no idea this is going on. All he knows is, wait a second, you're one basing it right now. He needs to start sending in those overlords and sending them in. He is. And this overlord going to be in a prime position to scout out that fleet beacon, as well as the mothership, actually. He's going to see the mothership morphing in, and this is going to allow him to immediately, he needs to start up that layer tech. He needs to get out some kind of detection. He needs the detection immediately, because if he doesn't have the detection, I mean, he's just not going to have a way to detect any of the units. And guess what? Motherships have quite a bit of health. They have actually quite a bit of health, a lot of health, I might say. So yes, there we end up seeing the layer tech that started up. So it's going to take him a while to take out the mothership, so he needs to deal with it with detection. Spore Crawler is actually going down to these two bases just to buy a little bit of time in case the, you know, Overseers get sniped off or whatever. The mothership. No man, and guess what? There's that cloaking field, and with a single Void Ray, a handful of gateways, this is actually a pretty scary push out from Catfish. The one thing I will say he doesn't really have a lot of is kind of anti-air. He has 5 stalkers, which is, you know, a moderate amount of gateway units, but really, he's on 28 workers. He's all in at this point, and there's just not going to be enough time for Neil from Team Garmin to actually get out some kind of layer tech or layer tech Spire to get out Mutalisk or anything of the sort. He's basically got to deal with pure roaches and queens. The queens are actually out in a pretty decent number. We have 4 queens out on the map right now. Another queen about to pop. Layer tech finishing up, and the roaches are now greeting this Protoss army out in the center of the map. But he needs to be careful. He wants to make sure he's engaging with the rest of his queens. But here comes in the mothership. The mothership going to try and stay as far back as possible while still cloaking the remainder of these units. And guess what? Neil cannot see a majority of these units. The Overseer going to get picked up, but the Spore Crawler is still there. The Spore Crawler can actually detect everything, but oh my god, a Force Field goes down, traps all these drones out on the low ground, and actually this Sentry has enough energy for another couple of Force Fields. A couple of Roaches going to be out on the map, but these Roaches cannot actually, well actually he can see the Sentry. He needs to take out that Sentry if he wants any chance, but no, doesn't quite get it out. No more Roaches going to be popping out over here. The Spore Crawler does get taken out. The Overseer is actually morphing over here, but it is actually in range of these Stalkers. The Stalkers can very easily take out that Spore. The Overseer, the Overseer gets very low on health. Even though it doesn't get taken out, I mean, it's still in a world of trouble right now. It's sitting at 21 health. That's basically just 2 Stalker shots, and it is going to be dead meat. The hatchery is most certainly going to be going down. And guess what? At this point, Catfish has already evened up the worker count and the base count, but he has a freaking mothership on his side of the game. Another Void Ray going to be popping out very soon for Catfish. He's just continuing to macro up behind this, and guess what? Unfortunately, Neil, he needs that extra base. He needs that extra hatchery for the extra larva to try and produce some kind of semblance of an answer right now. He's making some Corruptors, but I mean, this army is a little bit too big. Even if he takes out the mothership at this point, I'm not sure if he has enough to defend over here. Overseer's getting target fired down. To make matters worse, he's supply block now, and he can't see any of the army. The Roaches kind of fumbling right now to try and see what damage they can do. The mothership is very, very low on health. It gets taken out. A nice little win for Neil, but now he realizes how big the army actually is remaining. Drones being pulled off the line, and it looks like Team Amazon going to be sitting in a great position to take game number 2 in the After Hours Gaming League. Amazon versus Garmin match, the preseason match. Again, this is all just for guts and glory, but it looks like Amazon showing that they are enjoying very much the fleet beacons. Actually, both of the teams enjoying the fleet beacons, as we did see Garmin go for the fleet beacon and the Tempest in game number 1. Balls head everywhere, but ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and hop into game number 3, which will be casted from a replay, because guess what? I am the player in game number 3. So I'm going to have to go back and cast it after the fact. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys in game number 3.